to another episode of Lone Recruiter Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Clemens, and today we are live from the RCSA Talent X Conference in Sydney. And today, Hishem. I'm so sorry.
Hishem, yeah, that's all good.
Yeah, I had it right, and then you corrected me, but it was still right, and now I've just got in my own head about it.
All good.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me on.
Maybe it's just I'm a little bit nervous. I've never been nervous on a podcast before, but you're a bit of a hero. You've done some things, and it's really exciting to have you on. So, what brings you to Sydney?
So, I have a podcast myself.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that I do called the Recruitment Mentors podcast. So, I'm here with that, if I'm honest. I'm recording a bunch of episodes next week. We have a live podcast event next week in Sydney. So, that's why I'm here. I'm big into building relationships. I wanted to meet humans and meet people face to face. So, I thought I'd fly all the way to Australia and try and make that happen for our Australian audience.
That's incredible dedication. It's true, right? With LinkedIn and socials and everything, you see all these people online and you see everyone doing their webinars and they're pushing their content out and whatever, but I think Recruitment 101 still exists, which is go and meet people face to face, right? Like, it makes a massive difference.
Well, you tell me, but I'm a big believer that picking up the phone and meeting people face to face has become a competitive advantage. Because so many people don't do it.
100%. I have been talking about this. Oh my God! Like the amount of, and I'm guilty of this sometimes. Just rushing through it, going, I'll ping out that message, I'll pitch out, and you're like, wait, I've got to pick up the phone too.
Yeah, a really good one to use is whenever you get like an email back, and there's someone's number on there, is where it's appropriate, pick up the phone and go, hey Brett, look, I thought I'd just do the human thing and give you a quick call. Rather than send you another email that's, no doubt flooding your inbox. So
100%.
I think whenever you can, that goes a long way in currently, and I think it's going to go even more further with AI, not actually having to speak to humans. I think like that's going to be huge.
100%. No, massive believer in that. So you were on stage, I caught you on stage with a few of the other lads, Pete being one of them, and it was all about building community, right? So obviously the podcast you've had, when did it start? 2017. So you've been doing that for yourself.
Slugging away, mate.
Slugging away for what?
Away.
8 years now.
Yeah.
Some great stuff was set up there, but I'd love to take your take on that, right? Like, you've built quite a community, right? So how do you keep that community going outside of just the great content? Because I mean, you were telling me before, your goal is that your episodes, you want people to walk away always going, fuck, I got value, right? But what do you do outside of the actual content to kind of stoke that community?
So for me, I think it comes back to, you got to be really clear on like why you're doing it, because a huge part of the recipe is consistency and keep showing up. So if you haven't got clarity on like, okay, why am I even doing this show? Like, why is it important? That's kept me going, because when I started, maybe like you, no one was really listening. No. So I could have stopped then. But I think coming back to that why, this is something that if it just helps one other recruiter, I think that's a great thing to do. I want to keep doing it. I was that recruiter. So I think coming back to your why, keep showing up. And then the big thing that I'm doubling down on this year is the year where I'm doing the most ever events that I've done.
Really?
So for the last, I did my first ever live podcast event just before COVID, 2019. And we had 50 recruiters all pay for tickets. We did like a live podcast. We managed to sell that out. I'd never done anything like that before, but that really gave me the confidence then to sort of try and turn those listener numbers that we see on the screen into actual, like, remembering they're real people.
Yeah.
So, like, how can I facilitate that and actually bring these people together every year? So for the last, like, 3 or so years, 3 times a year, I've done a live podcast event. And this year, we're going to do like 8 live podcast events where we're bringing humans together in person. So I feel like those types of things matter. The why, really being clear on like, okay, why am I doing this? How do I want it to be useful for people? Just having clarity on those things is going to matter, and then like really doubling down on bringing people together. Yeah,
I love it. And then you mentioned as well off camera that your audience is it's growing. It's impressive numbers, but there's not a lot of them are here in Australia.
Only 10%.
Only
that's
10%.
what we're here to. That's what we're here to change, mate. You're helping me. You're helping me with that, so it's appreciated.
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about, right? Community, and we help each other, and that was what your whole talk today was about. Like, why do we have barriers? We don't need them, And so, it's people like you that really push that needle along.
Hopefully, I'd like to think so. I think there's, like, I'm just a huge advocate. Like, your podcast is called The Lone Recruiter, right? So for those of you that feel like your challenges, whether it be work, performance, mindset, you may feel like you're having to deal with those challenges, or it's just you that have those challenges and problems. But as you'll know, that rarely is the case. So I think one of the best things that you can do is not be the lone recruiter, and recognize that actually there's a lot of people that feel like you have gone through what you've gone through. So one of the best things that you can do is either talk to your colleagues or talk to people that maybe have gone through the challenges that you're going through, and you'll be surprised how many people are willing to help or at least share advice and those types of things.
100%, absolutely. And I don't know if you know this off the top of your head, but how many episodes have you done now?
We're coming in nearly 600.
600. And
nearly.
Is there one that's just popped off, so it's just been shared 1,000 million times? Is there one that stands out to you as like, that was a huge episode, like we got a lot of traction on that? There was a lot
We've got a few, mate. We've got a few.
Yeah, I like it. Well, I want to know. Like, I want to steer the audience.
Right.
Is there one or two that we should be seeking out? That
No, it's a good question. Honestly, no, I know it's annoying, but like no major ones stick out. I think if I'm honest, you can tell me what you think of this. I'm trying to improve how I can. Like, there's so many episodes now, so it can be a bit daunting. It's like, where do I start? So that is something that's in the back of my head that I need to take action on. Like, okay, if I find it tomorrow and I'm here in my career, or I've just started a recruitment business, what episodes are best? I haven't got that nailed right now. So there isn't, like, honestly, like, there isn't. We've had some cool moments on like TikTok and stuff. There's one that always jumps out because people bring up to me was, we had this clip that went viral of this guy who recruits in the Nordic market, white collar engineering, where he was talking about how he cold calls people through Microsoft Teams. That always sticks out, which is funny. So yeah, you may or may not know, but on Microsoft Teams you can put someone's email, figure it out. We're smart people. You can click like start a video call, and then you just start a video call with someone. So that went nuts. That went crazy.
Amazing. I like that.
So no, it's not very helpful, but I want to try to fix that.
Question, do you know what it is? Because a podcast is very unique to the consumer, right? Like, they're looking for a story or an idea or some help, whatever. So what stands out to you might not stand out to me, right? So maybe you just need to come up with a few streams and go, here are the top 5 for individual billers at this bracket. Here's the top 5 for agency owners who are just starting. And you have maybe your top 5 for different sectors. It's probably the...
But it's better that you bring up a good point. It's back to your point earlier on, like, the community piece. I've honestly always been laser focused on everything that I'm trying to do is for the audience. And for me, I don't know if you listen to other podcasts, I definitely do, which is part of why I wanted to start my own. I think the best podcasts, the hosts, I know it's a bit different for you because you don't interview, but for me, the way that I see it is the podcast isn't about the host.
No.
Like, the best podcast is actually, like, my best episodes, because when we do all the transcripts and stuff like that, I speak like normally 20% or less.
Yes, but the power of your questioning is vital to steering.
Exactly, yeah. So the reason why I bring that up is, like, again, when we think about community and stuff, it's like genuinely being focused on like trying to serve the people that you want to serve, and like what is it that they want. Back to your point, like if you have to be, there's one thing saying it, but then there's another thing actually delivering that.
Yeah. I love it. Well, look, we are running out of time, so I want to ask you one more question, because this is an interesting one. You're from the UK. You're currently in Australia. Is there anything you've noticed today with the Australian recruitment scene that is, vastly different, annoyingly similar to the UK?
So the thing that I will always be happy to challenge people on is what I've heard time and time already, and it's only been a couple of days, is that the Australian recruitment market is very relationship driven and the UK recruitment market isn't. I would challenge that all day long. So I've had a lot of people tell me that, it's very transactional in the UK, it's very different here in Australia, it's all about relationships. And like, for me, if you've been successful over a long period of time in the UK, it's all about relationships. The thing that the best recruiters care about is increasing the lifetime spend of their clients. They're not just on the spot business hamster wheel. That is stressful, that's not sustainable. So the best recruiters are consistently thinking about how can we deliver more value, how can we do multiple placements with our clients. And that's all driven through relationships, understanding the problems that these companies have. And I will argue that till I'm blue in the face.
Yeah.
For me personally.
No, I love it. I love it.
So that's what I've noticed.
I love it. Get you back up a little bit, like, fuck you, isn't it? That's it. Mate, absolute pleasure. That was awesome.
Thanks for having me, man.